So 6 wins now over ranked opponents, 8 wins, which leads the nation in quadrant one over quadrant one opponents. What enables this team to do it? How do you keep doing it over and again?
It's a bunch of fighters. I mean, I probably said that 100 times, but that's what it is. It was a really weird game in many respects. At one point, I felt like we were down like 15, and then I looked up and we were up 4. And, but I guess that's kind of what you get when you put all the elements together. It's Bedlam. We just played this game. Like, we literally just played this game. We played 45 minutes worth of it, 56 hours ago. And, both teams are good. Both teams made adjustments from Saturday to today. And it took a little while for us to figure out exactly what it was going to take to win. And we had to do it with stops and get out in transition tonight.
Well, we'll just get to it because I know we're late here. So members of the media, if you have a question for Oklahoma State coach Mike Boynton, please click raise hand. Try and get to everybody. Our first question comes from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Mike, I want to start with Bryce tonight. He had his second run of 8 straight points. That was big, but I thought his defense on Austin was especially impressive. What did you think of Bryce tonight?
I thought he was really good. Bryce has got a lot of pride. He's a really competitive dude. And, Avery was a little banged up the other day, and Bryce asked yesterday for the matchup. And he did a pretty good job. Now, Austin still did Austin Reeves things. He scored a lot of points. He made a lot of plays for his team. I still can't believe he made that last shot that he made. I have no idea how he did it. It's like a horse shot that you don't take because there's no defense on the floor. But I thought Bryce was sensational on both ends of the court today.
And you hear the crowd chanting one more year. How do you approach that with him? How do you have these discussions with him?
I don't yet. I obviously gave him a little bit of a rib there about his choice the first time around because we recruited him, but that's a conversation for after the season. All I want every year is for these guys to make good decisions, and that means what's best, what are the goals we're trying to achieve, and how do we get the information necessary to put ourselves in position to accomplish those. And that conversation won't happen probably for another few weeks.
He said the first shot he got to fall Saturday kind of woke him up offensively. How streaky is he offensively?
Yeah, he's pretty streaky. But sometimes he overthinks just the offensive game, and he makes a more complicated play than he needs to make. But that's the competitor in him. He thinks he can make plays that sometimes, other people wouldn't think they can make. He's got a high level of confidence. But when he's going, he's pretty important to us.
And Caleb's night tonight. Caleb was really good after, he finished strong Saturday, but then was much better. That was adjustment you said you wanted to make. How did you think Caleb adjusted?
I thought he did well. I thought he was really aggressive, both offensively and defensively. We got him engaged enough where we were able to switch him in some ball screens, which we don't do a lot. And he actually defended on the perimeter pretty good. He had to chase Brady to the corner in some of our zone sets, and he got there with some urgency. And so, again, when he's dialed in, his mind's in the right place on both ends of the court. He's a guy that's got a chance to really, really make a difference for our team, but also be one of the better bigs in our league.
And what did you think of Cade and how he adjusted to how OU adjusted to him? There was a lot of adjustments there, and how do you think that kind of worked out for Cade and how he reacted? I
thought he was fine. I thought he pressed a little bit early. It was, again, senior day for a 19-year-old freshman. Obviously, got to be weird. A lot of family here coming off the game. They came out really, really aggressively. They were really physical. They were a little bit more aggressive in their ball screen coverages with him. And it took a little while for him to figure out where to take advantage of that was. But I thought in the second half, he did a much better job.
Thanks, Mike.
Our next question comes from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, it seemed like you played Keelan maybe at the 5 a little bit, maybe in his adjustment of those kind of handoffs. So what did you think of the job that he was able to do in a new spot for him?
I guess technically Cade would be the 5 in that lineup, but it's not really. I mean, we got 5 guards out there, which is something we've done all year. Again, we talked about this since the beginning of the season. He just hasn't been a part of that as much here in the second half of conference play, just because the other guys have been playing better. Today Avery wasn't quite as efficient. You know, he's dealing with a little bit of a injured back and a little bit of a rolled ankle. So Keelan gives us more length, rebounding, and the ability to be able to switch, but also space the floor.
And there was one point where I think Rondell and Brady Manick both hit the ground after a loose rebound. Just kind of, what does this game do you think means for those Oklahoma kids?
You know, you obviously would have to ask them directly, but I would imagine two kids from this state grew up watching these games. They're basketball kids, and it means a lot for them to be able to play in this game. You know, obviously this was Brady's last Bedlam matchup. You know, he didn't play particularly great on Saturday, but he came out really aggressively today. But I thought Rondell gave us a lot of energy and made a lot of big plays for us. Um, I look forward to seeing him in this series a little bit more.
They were bombing threes on you guys early. That makes it tough to play his own. How beneficial would it have been to have Ice there? I imagine he can guard those handoffs, and you know, if he has Reeves on him, it's not as big a deal if like MA has him.
Yeah, you know, the thing about Ice is he could guard Reeves and he can guard Manic, right? Just his toughness, his length could bother either one of them. So certainly we missed them, but you know, I'm proud of this team. We won two really hard games without, you know, our established leader, our most experienced guy. I think it goes to show that we've gotten a lot better over the course of the season, and you know, hopefully we can get him healthy and he can be a part of this last part of the season run for us.
He dressed tonight. It seemed. How close is he?
I don't know. I'll be honest. He gave it a little bit of a go today and shoot around, but didn't feel comfortable. And again, at the end of the day, I'm not going to put him out there too early. Or make sure we take our time and get him healthy, because just as important it is he plays for us, he's going to have a future in basketball that I don't want to hinder that either.
And then last thing from me, the guys talked about how, you know, Cade was struggling early. How, you know, this team isn't just Cade. That's kind of like the national outlook is that it's Cade and some other guys. What can you say about the rest of the guys stepping up and kind of picking up the scoring in Cade's absence there early on?
Well, you know, Cade's our best player, and I think he's the best player in the country. But we've got some other guys who are capable of helping us win. And, you know, the beauty of Cade is he doesn't make it about himself. You know, he makes the right play. You know, when he's double teaming ball screens, he'll give it up and allow somebody else to go, you know, create offense. So it's a credit to all these guys for believing in each other. Because, again, Cade's one of our most vocal guys on the bench, giving guys confidence to go make plays when he gives it up out of double teams.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Our next question comes from Barry Trammell from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, Mike, 2 straight games against OU. They led more than you led, more so Saturday than tonight, but still, I think it was 21-14 in minutes led. And yet down the stretch, you guys make the plays to take the lead and win it. Does that give you a lot of security as a coach, knowing that even when things aren't going great and you're behind, your guys sort of hold on to the rope, don't let go, and keep it close and are able to take control?
Yeah, that's a learned skill, something you have to practice. And these games would have been harder for us to win early in the year because these guys hadn't been through college basketball. And now they're getting used to being in these moments and playing those 4-minute games and taking it segment to segment, not getting overwhelmed by any part of the game. And like I said, in my opening, there was a point I felt like we were down 15. I mean, they played really, really well. But I also think that over the course of the game, our length and our athleticism, those threes weren't falling quite as much late because they got contested. And, you know, they kept shooting them. They shot 34 of them. We shot 14, which is, you know, about how we want to play.
Next question comes from Frank Bonner from the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Mike, how reassuring is it to know that you guys can win, not just, you know, when Cade doesn't score 40 points, but in the different ways that you win? Today, it's Caleb Boone scoring 17. The next game, Rondell Walker might be hot. How dangerous does that make you, knowing that anybody can be that guy for you guys on any given night?
Yeah, man, we got a lot of pieces. It's kind of what I told the crowd today. I remember my first year here and winning a game 94-90 like we did on Saturday, or finding a way to win this game 79-75 wasn't really an option. We just didn't have enough playmaking guys to score like that. So defense had to be what we hung our hat on. Well, now we've combined that. We play pretty solid defense still, but we've got more offensive weaponry that gives us a chance on a night-to-night basis to have different guys be the guy to carry the load. Tonight it was Caleb. There's been games where it's been MA. There's been games where it's been Rondell. There's been games where it's been Bryce. And obviously we all know what Cade's capable of when he's on. So I think we're one of the more versatile and deep teams in the country. And I look forward to seeing these guys continue to play.
Now, we talked about Caleb a little bit in the last game, but I guess how exciting is it to see a local kid like him have the big play down the stretch last game and then have the game he did today in a Bedlam rivalry?
It's huge. Again, I can't discount his brother. I think his brother's minutes were really, really huge for us. He played almost 25 minutes, probably the most he's played since, non-conference, really. Even though he played last Monday, it wasn't this much, and he gave us a big spark. But Caleb certainly was the guy that we were able to play through, and he was really aggressive on both ends of the court.
My last, going back to the Texas Tech game, all the way into the two future games you guys got coming up, real rough stretch for you guys. Do you worry about an emotional tax during this stretch at all?
It's March. We're playing relevant, meaningful basketball games. I don't worry about that. What I worry about is keeping our guys in the moment, focusing on not the challenge, not why do we have to go play these two games? Why do we get the short end of the stick? No, we have an opportunity to go play one of the best teams in the country on Thursday on the road. I think we played okay on the road for the most part. And I look forward to seeing our guys get prepared to go up there and play a team that's going to be well prepared and it's going to give us, a great challenge.
Appreciate you, Mike.
And our final question is going to come from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Mike, this is just a quick nerdy basketball question, but you broke out a 1-3-1 there for a few possessions. How practiced were you guys in that? It seemed like the first time you guys have done it this year, I think.
Yeah, I didn't really want to play it. This game means a lot, though. So I wasn't going to hold anything back. We're out the orange blazer, 1-3-1. I didn't quite get the floor slap because I think last week I almost got a technical, but I was close to even there. I know how much this game means, and I was going to make sure we did everything we could to put ourselves in position. It was good for a possession. I think it kind of threw them off rhythm. Then they got a three. We got out of it, but it's something it's something like, it's kind of like your trick plays in football. Like you practice them like barely, but guys aren't totally unfamiliar with it. You're not going to play it for a half, but a couple possessions, you might still, a turnover or a missed shot. And a game like this could be the difference.
Appreciate it. Coach,
you referenced the orange blazer. What does that mean to you?
It's an ode to Coach Bucky, and a way to honor him and what this rivalry means. I know it's something that our fans appreciate, and it's a tip of the cap to our fans because I can't imagine that there were 5 better environments in college basketball than Gallagher Ivory this year during COVID. And save for COVID, they would have needed the fire marshals in here tonight, and people would have been hanging off the rafters. And so I wanted to thank the people who did come, but also acknowledge, the people who weren't able to make it by having them be able to watch the game on TV with a lot of pride.
Well, that'll do it for questions, but kind of as always, want to give you the final word. What's most important to you? Maybe something that we didn't cover.
No, just thanks to our fans. It was a sensational season. We're not done yet. We think we got a lot more basketball ahead of us, and I'm excited about getting back to work with these guys and trying to see if I can help them get a little bit better tomorrow.